Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Horror Flick Chicks podcast. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Jesse McAnally. Jesse is an independent filmmaker, producer, and writer. He is also the co-founder and creative director of Fosca Features LLC, a Michigan-born independent film production company. We're happy to have Jesse here to chat with us about his latest feature, The Daughters of the Domino. Welcome, Jesse.
Thank you both for having me on. It is truly, truly an honor to get to chat with this. And I am a fan of you guys. And I love what you're doing. And I love female voices and like the horror community. I think it's fantastic, or at least not white men. I'm really sick of white men in the horror
Yes.
communities. It is, yeah. So I love hearing your perspectives. They're so different. They're so interesting, and I, it's so great to have. So it is an honor to be here, and I sit here as a fan and enjoyer of your content.
Oh, thank you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much.
That's so
Thank you
kind
so
of
much.
them.
We're when we started doing all this stuff, we had that in mind too, the white men thing. We're not white and we're not men, so you know, we love bringing our perspective to horror lovers. So, thank you so
Mhm.
much for that. And we're super excited to have you here to talk about your movie, which, by the way, was great.
Thank
Yes.
you.
It was super.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was gonna make out, but I'm glad you liked it. But I think a discovery we made is, I don't think it's made for white men.
Y-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So how was it that you came up with the concept for Daughters of the Domino?
Oh my goodness. Usually the lead actress Miranda Moffat tells this story because she's so much better at it. So I'm gonna try to do the best I can with this. But it started as these short films she would make when she was little, like 7, 8, where she was this character, Detective Rose. And about, I want to say it, at least 7, 8 years ago, or no, it had to be over 10 years ago. I was like, whatever my first feature is, it's gonna be a Detective Rose film.
Oh,
And
Wow.
yeah, and you will get to play the lead. And it was a promise, and it spiraled into something so much bigger than either of us could say. But that was always like, this is where we're starting. And everything else was just kind of like watching the world and kind of seeing what I didn't like about the mystery genre and what I didn't like about other films, and just like, how can I put my stamp onto this without coming off as too pretentious and still make something that is entertaining? Because when you deal with murder and all that stuff in horror, I think there's a fine line between fun, campy, entertaining horror and the real life horrors of the
Right.
world. And finding that line when doing like a pastiche on true crime was the hardest part.
oh,
Mm.
okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, um, is there any thought about making this like a series with like the Detective Rose characters?
Movies are expensive. If this one
Oh,
does well
yes.
and there is a demand for it, I would do another one of these in a heartbeat. This was such an opening, but without going to spoilers, like, if you saw the ending, you might think that there might be room for more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope.
That
Yes.
would be great. It would be
It
great to do
would.
it because there is like stuff that we have talked about of where it would go. There, we didn't just do that and be like, well, we'll figure that out one. It was like we set that path for ourselves because we know where we're racing to, but it doesn't mean we get to finish that road.
Yeah, that's true. But hopefully you do. You
Yes,
never know,
hopefully.
right? You
Yes.
never know what's waiting for you, right? What the stars
Hmm.
have waiting for you. So I noticed that there was a theme in the movie relating to people's obsession with serial killers. And was that something that you planned to showcase from the beginning, or was it something that just kind of presented itself as you were making the film?
It's the theme had to come about because of the general premise of the film, which is we have these two daughters that are the descendants of this notorious serial killer, and they're still trapped in that hometown, their hometown that is still shook by it. And I was watching documentaries about Dahmer and all this stuff where you have these groupies, for lack of a better word, that kind of
Yeah.
still think he's cute, especially post that Dahmer series, and folks that really like Charles Manson after he died. And I'm like, what if that kill it would be weird enough that they're doing this, but what if that was your dad that you have this kind of complicated relationship
Yeah.
with? So everything that we talked about, me and my co-writer Nathan Keelan talked about, was like, what would be the most uncomfortable thing for these two girls to have to deal with? And one would be like a weird notoriety for your dad doing the most disgusting, heinous thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't that definitely will be something difficult to have to live with, especially
Hmm.
still living in the town that it all happened. And it's yeah, it was, I thought it was a great concept um for the movie. And what a phenomenal cast, by the way. Um what was the casting process like? Were these just actors auditioning, or did you know a lot of the actors and just put them in your movie?
That is a fantastic question, because I have done like the traditional casting call process for other films and shorts and theater, and I hate it. It is, I don't know if either of you have had to go through that before, but
No.
it
No.
is a really demoralizing thing, not just for the actors, but it really does make you realize, like, if you don't get a role, it really is not your fault. It is the fault of casting directors and people just not understanding the project that we're aiming for, what the roles are. And I didn't want to deal with that, because that is just money wasted for what could be the wrong thing, and, building bad reputations with actors. And I didn't want to play with that. So, Miranda Moffat was who the role was written for. She did not want the role. She was actively like, no, don't make me
No.
star in this. I don't want to ruin this. This means too much to me. Have other people audition. And that was the only role we had proper auditions for. And just no
Okay.
one quite got it. And we cast every other role by just look and kind of like who looks like the family tree, and building the family first, because everyone Michigan is this beautiful place where there are such talent, and you could just go to young theater camps and all that, and you can see some of the most brilliant actors, or just go to local theater productions and you can see, what they can bring to it. So there was never a doubt in my mind that these people could perform. Um, but everyone else was more or less cast, and then we just had her step in for reading so we can get a camera test, and we just looked at each other and we're like, "What are we doing?" So that was no one that auditioned for that role ended up getting it. The only interesting cast member I think might have a story behind it is Asia, who played Frankie. Frankie in the original script was not as she is. She was a much more deadpan Aubrey Plaza type. And she
Um,
was Arabic and from of Lebanese descent. She wore a hijab. That was just the type of character. And that was so difficult to find an actor that would fit that. And then I saw Asia do stand up, and I was like, I'm gonna rewrite this and just make it her. I'm gonna make it them, and put them in this character. And so they had free reign to say or do whatever they wanted on camera, because I just wanted that energy. So that character I can't even take too much credit for, because that is really just Asia being Asia.
Oh wow. That's great. I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we're not in the movie business at all. So
Hmm. You
no.
never know. Some people, like,
right.
when you're in the podcasting world, some people are like,
Yeah.
well, I do theater on the side, I do this and
Oh,
that.
Yeah, we don't do any of
yeah.
that.
We're not in movie business at all. Never had, ambition for that.
No.
We're just horror fans that,
I
love movies and wanted to kind of talk with other like-minded fans and bring our interpretation of movies to the masses. So the whole process of movie making is like new and fascinating to us because we're not in that
Yeah, right.
that market, you know?
But I think that you are kind of in that market. And I want to say, first and foremost, I appreciate people that do podcasting and talk about media for the sake of talking about it. This is not a stepping stone for you guys. This is what you do and the thing that you love doing and putting all your energy into it. Too many people I just see use this as their step to the next thing. So I really respect that first and foremost. But if you're engaging with media, you're part of the process. I'm sorry to say,
Yeah.
like you are tastemakers that influence how movies are made and what get made. So I, despite you feeling like you're outside of it, you guys are in it. I'm sorry, you're trapped in this.
Well, I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We don't see ourselves like that, but
Right,
I
but I
guess
mean
you're
that's a
right.
good perspective to have. And so I say that to say, while we were researching you, we did, we realized that you have done a lot of short films,
hmm
and this being your first feature. So how did the process change from working on shorts to working on full length movies?
A lot of it stays the same. A lot of it is just like you gather the people, you give them the dates, you sign the contracts, and get it together. Just the scope is so much bigger, and you can't do everything alone anymore. With a short,
Mm,
the buck can kind of stop with one person and it's effective. Where here, there was so much delegation. There were four producers, one that was in LA and three on site. There was production managers and all that, just like all that. And so it is a little more isolating because there are people on this film that spent full days that I did not get to speak to because there's just so much stuff that needs to get done. And I'm used to knowing every face. And for example, like in a short film, I would know every extra and be able to point out who they are and what their name is. If you look at the concert scene in this film, there are people I'm like, I have no idea who that human being is. So it is just so much bigger and so much delegation and I know this seems obvious, so much longer. We shot
mm,
this from April to June of 2023, and that's a quarter of your year, and all doing one thing. And a lot of people were working full-time jobs at the same time, so it was
mm.
an undertaking.
Wow.
And I don't know if I would have done it had I known how hard it was going to be.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, now that you have done it,
Mhm.
would you make more features or do you want to stick to shorts for now?
Oh, I would make more features. I would just do it differently, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I've learned from the mistakes and would do it so differently and understand what the undertaking is. So it wouldn't take from April to June, and it would take, 2.5 weeks.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So you had so this movie had a lot of felt like it had a lot of like genres in it. Horror, it had comedy because I thought it was very funny.
Thank you.
Um and like the detective noir vibe too. What filmmakers have inspired you in your in it, for making this and also for the short movies that you've made?
hmm for Domino, I feel like I was inspired by a lot of traditional filmmakers, especially from the 90s. Like we were really trying to get like that 90s filmmaking style of Robert Zemeckis and
Mm.
Steven Spielberg with like the camera movement. There's a lot of like one shot takes where we block the actors around the camera and try to get things done just because, A, scheduling, that was how we had to get our shots done. And it just feels more like more momentum is happening and like more interesting things are going on. As far as the writing, I know that a film like The Nice Guys was brought up a lot between me and my co-writer. And David Lynch films like Blue Velvet were kind of like talked about as far as like threading the line between the horror and the comedy because we wanted it to be something that is entertaining where you are not just inundated with darkness because the first few drafts were much darker, much meaner, kind of cruel, and I didn't want to live in that space for an entire shoot. So we lightened it up and kind of made things a little bit funnier, a little we wanted the stakes to be real, but we wanted there to be levity and moments to breathe. And as far as my other shorts, I think they've all kind of been building toward this. I think that they all have a little bit of humor, a little bit of horror, and a little bit of levity. I think that the best thing is to kind of mix genres so that you're not bored, but hopefully have a cohesive whole. It's like adding
Yeah.
spices to a meal.
Yeah, it definitely bl everything blended in well. I loved the comedy parts, especially between the family members, the sister, and then the daughter, and even with the domino too, a little bit, you know? It's kind of like in a real family, like you're chatting with your sister or your kid or something, and it's just like, uh a light-hearted banter between each other. So I thought it blended everything very well.
hmm We really didn't want to lose the family drama side of this. Like part of the reason why we cast Tony, who played the Domino, and we had other wonderful actors that were like kind of bulky and muscular and kind of like the more traditional like serial killer type, is you lose like the family side of it. And I never wanted to lose like that is a grandpa. Every time I want you to look at him is like that is someone's grandfather, but
Yeah,
he's also done terrible things.
Right.
right. It makes it more disturbing.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, and the fact that he has, his granddaughter hostage pretty much. I mean, that's that's not that's not very wholesome. Um,
But you still look at the Domino and he's still adorable. Like
no, I know.
you could
Yeah.
definitely like see why he got away with it for
Yeah.
years.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And that and then, that twist with I mean, again, I also don't want to give spoilers. I
Yes,
think I
please don't
know,
spoil
Yeah.
that one.
No, no,
but I'll
no.
just say that twist, I didn't see that coming at all.
Neither did
That
I.
was unexpected. So I really like that part.
I'm
I
so
really
glad.
did. Yeah.
That, that
I can tell you, I'll tell you, I was watching the movie and I didn't know where it was gonna go.
okay,
Same.
that's
I
fantastic.
Same.
really didn't. And then when it started getting to that point where they're getting closer and closer, and that part happened, I said,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
hope
it
it
was
felt like a light bulb went off and like, oh yeah, this all makes sense
oh,
now.
makes
Now,
sense. It does
yes.
make sense. It does. Yeah, it was and that was I feel like also something that I haven't really seen in a movie. It felt like a fresh scene, like just something new.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank
yeah,
you.
I did like that. So obviously we are a horror loving page. So I want to kind of uh, throw out a little bit of a question related to horror. So this movie, although has horror elements, it's more kind of crime mystery.
hmm
And I just wanted to know from you, did you grow up watching horror movies, loving horror movies? Are there a type of horror movies that you like more than others?
I love horror movies. I think that is like the easiest genre for me to turn on at all times. I mean, there's a scene in this movie that it literally is just me copying off of John Carpenter. I literally it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just stealing those notes down. And as far as tone goes, Nightmare on Elm Street was a big one for me, especially with this, as far as like suburban horror. I really like horror in the suburbs. There's something like weirdly icky about it. And Wes Craven was so good at that. Is so good
Yeah.
at making these normal looking areas feel so uncomfortable. Um, and as far as other horror influences, Suspiria was a big influence on a
Mm.
lot of the lighting in this movie. We
Okay.
really wanted bright colors and we didn't want just like that Netflix look. That was something we always wanted. And all of our characters were color coded. Nina was coded green, and Laura was coded purple. So if you put them together, they're kind of contrasting. We really color was a big part of this, and I know Argento works in that a lot.
Okay, that's awesome.
So, would is Would you say Nightmare on Elm Street is your favorite horror movie?
Oh
Or
my fa oh
what
gosh.
would be your favorite?
Hold on. I should have expected this.
Well, I mean,
If
you
you need
don't
to think about it, it's fine.
yeah, but
We'll be here for
Give
a
you
little
me
bit.
don't necessarily have to just have one. If you have like a couple that, that you
I
just
think
love, so
Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween were two. I know those are very basic answers, but those are two that were
Yeah, there you go.
really ones that stuck with me, the ones that I got scared of when I was a kid. But as far as like, I want to throw a more modern one out there. I really enjoy Hereditary as far as
Yeah.
like
Oh,
another kind of icky suburban kind of story about family. Which I can't say I stole a lot from, but I can't help but see like there's some stuff there's a lot of dinner scenes in our movie, and that has
yeah.
one of the most iconic dinner
yeah.
Yeah.
monologues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hereditary is a good one.
Oh, one more horror film I want to throw
Yeah.
out there that inspired me to make a film, and I think it's woefully underwatched. It's The Battery by Jeremy Gardner. Do either of you know that one?
No, I don't know that.
No.
It is a wonderful zombie road movie, made, I want to say, in around 2015, shot on a DSLR. It got into all these festivals, got a Shout Factory distribution deal, has this wonderful Blu-ray with like behind the scenes and all that, and it just made filmmaking seem so attainable. And I don't think I would have made a feature film if that film had not existed.
Wow. I wrote it down. I'm
Oh,
gonna,
me too. I gotta look it up.
I'm gonna look it up and find it. I love zombie movies, so
Like it's like much like mine, like very low budget, but you can't always I mean not to speak. You can't always tell it. Like it's like one of those
Hmm.
like, wow, it just feels like I'm watching a movie, but it was made for $500.
But I
Oh.
mean, I mean, you just said I think you said that your movie was low budget. I
Yes.
it didn't look that way. I'll be honest. It was very well shot.
Thank you. I want
Yeah.
to tip off my wonderful camera team, led by Sean Snyder, my director of photography, and my gaffer Joshua Bruns. They are a dream team, and I swear I will not work with anyone else if I can avoid it. Josh and Sean are like so good. And yeah. Also, we were funded via Kickstarter, so our
Oh,
entire funded budget was $25,000.
Oh.
And
wow.
we
Wow.
yeah. And we just scraped by the skin of our teeth and a lot of favors and a lot of yeah, a lot of luck.
Yeah, that was, I mean, and it was very well done all around. Um, keeping in this horror discussion,
Yes.
there's a lot of talk, people talk about, remakes, right? It's like, don't remake this, you're gonna ruin it, and
Hmm.
this movie doesn't need a remake, it's already great as it is, type of thing, right?
Exactly.
If if there was one horror movie um in existence and that you wanted to remake properly, what would it be?
See,
Ooh.
it's not do it properly,
Yeah.
but I would love to play in it because it's been reinterpreted so many times. Like I would love to try another Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I know that's like so
Okay.
lame to say, but it's kind of been a franchise that we've left alone for a while. We've
Mhm.
gotten enough time to miss it. And I think like if the
Yeah.
thing that franchise has not done is like worked with like real young kids who like when we hear that they have nightmares, really we don't listen to because all children have nightmares. And with the success of things like It and Welcome to Derry, which are very influenced by Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm like, that is the take. That would be where I'd play it with that. But I also don't think that remakes harm original films. I like a lot of remakes. Even
I
Rob
agree.
Zombie's Halloween, I think, has merit.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not the same, obviously, but it gives it its own twist. I I personally like the original Halloween over Rob Zombie's,
Oh yeah.
but his I still like to watch his because it's a
Yeah.
different take, and he has a different way of looking at Michael Myers, right?
Yes, and I love Malcolm McDowell as Loomis in that
Yeah.
film. Like
Yeah.
he is bringing something new and something energetic and something exciting. And I also love Halloween Kills for that reason because it's so not Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is so good.
We
Yeah.
were just having that discussion on another right, Sonia, on
On another
another
show. Yeah,
another
another
show.
podcast.
It was split. The Halloween ends like half the group loved it, the other half were I don't know about it.
It's like when people talk about The Last Jedi and they say the things that are false, and I'm like, no, no, those are the good things. You're saying things that I think are good. But that is, and also the John Carpenter score to that film. Like, my
Yeah.
gosh, like there.
Yeah.
I think we're in a golden age of interesting horror. And even the remakes, I find, even if they aren't amazing, they're interesting. Even the Salem's Lot remake had stuff going with it.
Oh, I didn't hate that
I
one.
need me
I didn't
too.
hate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty, I mean, there's definitely really good remakes out there for sure. But I agree with you. Nightmare on Elm Street one could do with a remake because the remake they had was,
And I think just do something new and
yeah.
and I still think Robert Englund, just have him do a voice, have Freddy in the shadows, and just have it be nightmare imagery. Bring the guy that did Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark to like maybe direct it, like because I really like that
Oh,
film too.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there's stuff to be done.
I think Robert Englund can still do it.
Mhm.
They should let him do it. I mean,
Absolutely.
while he's still here, while we still have him, right? They should just let him do it.
Just have him record the dictionary, and then we can have him say whatever.
Right. There you go.
um, oh wait, if you guys want an exclusive, no one knows this.
Ooh.
A thing that I am working on with a co-writer is like a pastiche on the Phantom of the Opera. Like literally, I plan to still call it the Phantom of the Opera, but have it take place in the '70s, like in the dying theater scene
Oh.
of just like. So I where it's like leaning into the horror, like the slasher things that were coming out in the late '70s, early '80s, and have that stylistic choice. So that is something I am actively working on. Wait, have either of you seen Robert Englund's Phantom of the Opera?
I have not.
No.
Oh my gosh,
Now we have to write that
this
one
is
down
I'm
too.
writing it
that has to
down
be on the
too.
top of your list.
Okay.
It is like I want to say his best on-screen as far as an actor. It is a bit ridiculous, but he is so good in it, and it's like Phantom of the Opera, but a gory slasher. Cannot recommend it more.
Oh,
Oh, I love this.
I know. Just when we think we've like kind of seen everything.
I know. But that's
I
go ahead, go ahead.
no, I feel like I'm just like overtaking this podcast with me saying random
No,
things.
no, this is great. I mean, we want to learn things too, about you, about we like we said, we're not kind of entrenched in the movie making business and we don't know everything. So it's great when we hear new kind of little tidbits and movie suggestions like this. This is awesome.
It's from the director, I want to say, of Halloween 4. It has an incredible score by Misha Sinegal, who almost did the score to Domino, but it just didn't work out.
Oh.
Um, uh, watch it, you'll love it. I know it.
Oh, awesome. I'm
Oh
going
yeah,
to.
it's
We'll
on my
let
list now.
yeah, we'll let you know. We'll let you know what we think. What was your, I mean, did you always want to be a filmmaker? How did you come about to create Fosca Features?
I've kind of always, my parents will say, yeah, he always did, but I think like originally I wanted to be an actor, but then I was like in theater and all that, and I'm like, I don't like being told what to do. I want to tell people what to do. I I don't like what these stories that we're telling. I want to tell pick the stories. So eventually it became like my sense of I need to control everything. That eventually led me to directing, and then throughout all of high school, like I taught myself how to use cameras. The way I made money on the side was shooting people's senior projects, and doing video work for people. But everyone was like, you're never gonna make money doing that, so good luck. And now, yeah, hey, look at me.
Great.
Look at me now.
That's great.
What do you what do you think about like the younger generation now with the horror movies? Obsession is doing very well. Backrooms is doing really well. And what there was, oh, Passenger too that came
hmm
out a week ago. What do you think about the new generation of horror filmmakers?
I think it's just the beginning. Like horror is like one of the few film genres where there's not much of a barrier to entry, and that we welcome new voices. It is like one of the more open-armed genres out there. I can't imagine a 21-year-old being allowed to direct Wicked, is all I'm trying to say. I think it's great. I think the children, not the children, but the young folks have a different point of view and a different connection with things that scare them than millennial culture did. I am so curious to see what a post 9/11, post Donald Trump viewpoint
Mm.
of these kids and their relationship to the world at large is going to be, because I think it's going to strike much closer to home than we're ready for,
Yeah.
because our culture reflects in our media and back and forth. So I think it's going to be great. I think young filmmakers, and I've gone back to college courses and watched the films made by these kids in college, and at the same school I went to with the same materials, and they are doing so much more original, so much more effective things. And I think because they had a phone in their hand, they're learning CapCut, they're learning how to use things for TikTok.
Yeah.
They have an idea of how the editing style works when people in my generation did not know how to touch a nonlinear editor. So I think that they got a head start, and I'm excited to see where they go.
Yeah, definitely. Now, being a movie lover, I wondered wondered if you could name maybe three horror movies that you feel everyone should watch.
Hmm.
And it could be something that's basic that you maybe think people have already seen, but you never know.
Yes. I'm gonna throw a double feature that I'm counting as one because I
Okay.
consider it a horror couplet. I think The Wizard of Oz is kind of every child's first horror film. There is so many things and so many terrifying things in that film, that I like. The tornado sequence alone is so freaky, so designed. The witch, like that is like, baby's first steps into spookier territory. Then I think they should watch Return to Oz and get really
Oh,
spooked out.
Mm,
I think that is healthy. I think that every young person should have to watch. Oh, I'm trying to decide. I think they should watch The Thing. I think The Thing really teaches people like about paranoia, the fears of what's within, and I also think that it's just a good pitch for practical effects, and I think we need a little bit more of that. Um, Candyman is a proper horror romance, and I think that belongs in the upper echelons. And I feel like it is oft forgotten when we talk
it,
about horror.
yeah.
that's true. And the
Oh,
remake was very good too. I thought
I
so.
have I have thoughts.
Okay, well, I thought it was.
Not that it's like my literal reaction was that is like one of the best made movies I didn't like.
Okay.
okay.
Like
Okay.
it's like I disagree what you're doing, but I get why you're doing it. I you did it well, but yeah. Um, Still the second best Candyman movie, but not saying that it's like the worst thing I ever saw, but it was just like, man, have you guys read Jordan Peele's original script for that Candyman remake?
No.
Oh,
Okay, this is why I kind of so
okay.
his original pitch was it's Candyman, but it's Helen now. So Helen is the Candyman coming out to people in the mirrors and all that. And I read it. It's fascinating. And then Nia DaCosta came in and said, "I'm not doing any of that," and just basically rewrote it. She's like, "I'm not gonna have a Candyman movie where we don't have Candyman in it in some way."
Right, right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I found his pitch to be a little bit more interesting and tying more
Uh,
to like that first movie that I
yeah,
love so
right.
much.
Right. Right.
It would have made
Okay.
it would have made a little more sense, like going coming from the
I
original.
could see that, but then I can also see people going to see it expecting Candyman, and if they don't see a Candyman, they may kind of,
I
you
agree,
know.
but I'm also the man that loves Halloween ends, so
No,
for that
I,
reason,
no, I know.
Halloween ends. I'm throwing that in there because
Okay,
I
that's
think
fine.
everyone should watch that as far as like a big swing. And I think The Exorcist is another one. As far
Oh
as
yeah.
deep medical horror. I think that's like truly upsetting to watch like the first
Yeah.
hour of that film where a mother is trying to figure it out and failing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I throw the Daughters of the Domino in there because I think everyone should watch that.
Yes. We agree. We agree.
I love it.
And fun little fact, both of our favorite movie
Like
of all
all
time
time.
is The Wizard of Oz.
Oh my gosh. It's definitely in my letterbox top four, so that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like we forget how many filmmakers are just aping off that. Star Wars is just aping off The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like my dream thing, like if you're talking dream projects, is to just make a sequel to that film without using any like those characters, but like shoot it exactly in that MGM style with the painted backdrops and looking like a set.
Yeah. It's like pretty much a perfect movie in my opinion. Um, it's one of very quotable to us anyway,
Mhm.
and very visually stunning as well.
Yes.
So
And that whatever going on in Las Vegas, I don't know, I don't like it.
It had a little bit of everything in it too.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely can be considered a horror movie for sure.
100%. It was like the first nightmares I had was of that castle.
And those
Oh, yeah, the
monkeys.
castle and the monkeys, you know.
Upsetting stuff, and I think we should scare kids more. I like when's the last like children's horror that's come out? Like Krampus, maybe?
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I
maybe.
hmm. it has to be like the TV series, like Welcome to Derry, things
I
like
have
that. But
that. I mean, I wouldn't say that's directed. I want something kind like a Gremlins, where it's like kind of a kids
Gremlins,
movie.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Like Monster House really tried to have that like weird dark Amblin thing, but I feel
yeah.
like it hasn't latched on aside from the John Heater memes.
It was. I mean, that was good. It's just, but as a it's a cartoon, so it's creepy, I guess, but not scary.
Would you call
I don't know.
Coraline a horror movie?
I dark fantasy,
Hmm.
like
All
more
right.
I'd
fantasy.
say more,
I
yeah,
would
more,
think.
more definitely had a horror vibe, but I would say it more dark
Yeah,
fantasy, yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that movie too. Coraline's
Oh
good.
yes. Oh, it's good. I just thought I want another. I want children re-traumatized again.
I'm trying to I was trying to get my son to start watching, not like he's 7, so
Yeah.
just some stuff like we've seen Coraline, he liked
Mhm.
Coraline, but there's still certain things that we'll start watching and he'll turn away and he doesn't want to watch. So I have to like ease into it with him, but I'm trying to get him to watch it. He knows mommy does the horror stuff, so you know.
I mean, you guys are horror fans. Is there any like horror thing that you're like, oh, I can't handle that? Like, my partner Miranda cannot handle body horror in any way, but she loves every other kind of horror genre.
Oh, I mean, I could pretty much watch anything. I would watch anything, but there's definitely like I haven't been able to bring myself. to watch Terrifier 2 and 3 because I'm like really nervous to watch it for some reason. I'm going to because I feel like I have to, but after the first one, and I heard the second and third one are worse. Like not a movie, just more gory, more
Yeah,
gross.
they each get worse and worse. I saw
Yeah,
the second
so
one. I haven't seen the third one. Yes.
Oh, and Terrifier is such a blank spot for me because I it's more recent, and I'm just like, it almost looks too goofy for me. But I hear everyone say, "Oh, it makes me sick to my stomach," and I'm like, well, maybe one
I
day.
wouldn't recommend eating while you're watching it. Let's just say that's what I told
that's what she
Sandra
told me
after the
when she
second
saw the
one.
second one, and I said, "Oh my God." I think that's probably why I haven't watched it yet. I got to figure it out though, because I have to see it. Anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, I don't think there's really any movie I wouldn't want to watch. Uh, there is only one movie that I remember that I can remember that I wanted to watch and started watching it and never finished it, and that was Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, that one's too much for me. That's fair.
I started it, I got like maybe half an hour in, and then I had to stop, pause it, and I couldn't go back in.
When we're dealing with like real dead bodies and like animal
Yeah.
carcasses, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
That one was a lot.
Willy Wonka's another one where it's like that has some. I wouldn't call that a horror movie, but it has
No.
some horrific moments.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's creepy. That's what
I
people
mean,
do.
well, it is kind of it is kind of a final girl story where everyone just gets picked off and dies. Wait, hold on, I'm selling myself without being a horror movie.
It is
I
it's a
mean,
final boy.
they're making all these movies recently from kind of kids fairy tales and things like that. I mean, you could do a Willy Wonka, like a straight up Willy Wonka horror movie.
And they should.
It
Yeah.
should. We'll put it out in the universe. So hopefully we'll get one. So we'll see. This has been a great interview, great chat. So much
Oh,
fun.
we've made it. 40 minutes in already.
Can
We
you
got
believe
there.
it?
Thank you so much for coming on our podcast and chatting with us. We want to give the last few minutes, give you the floor to tell everybody where they can find you on socials, where they can see the movie, and anything else that you have coming up that you're working on.
Yes, thank you very, very much. This was lovely. I love talking horror with good people, good, educated, smart people that engage with media at first levels, and you guys really, really do a great job with that. I am very grateful. And as far as myself, you can find me everywhere just by typing Jesse McAnally into Google. It's spelled McAnally. It was fun in high school. As far as where you can see Daughters of the Domino, we do have distribution details coming
Okay.
soon, which is exciting, and we're just figuring out the logistics of that. But in the meantime, we are having so many screenings this summer. So just go to daughtersofthedomino.com. All of our screenings are updated there. Come see it in an audience. It really does work great in an audience. There was a moment in our very first screening where there was an applause break, and that has never happened for
Oh,
anything I've ever done. And I was like, "What is this, Avengers Endgame?" It was shocking. I like was almost embarrassed.
oh,
Yeah, so I cannot recommend seeing this in a theater with other strangers enough. That is
That's cool.
my preferred way of doing it. And every screening that we've had in the Midwest has sold out, so you want to
Oh,
get
nice.
in quick and soon.
Yep. Well,
absolutely.
listen, guys, we'll make sure to tag everything on our socials so you guys can follow and see maybe someplace near you where you can find a screening of the movie. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Horror Flick Chicks podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on all our socials, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Facebook. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Horror Flick Chicks, right here on YouTube. And Jesse, thank you again so much. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so
And we
much.
can't wait to see all the fantastic things you have coming out in the future.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely to meet you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Until next
you.
time, guys. Peace, love, and horror. Bye.
That's the end.